Hey, I'm Pops. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. We're going to talk about Batman animated series. I'm loving this. This is one of my favorite episodes, uh, and I will admit it's because it's got such a unique quirkiness to it. It's the introduction of the Riddler. It's called "If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich?" And it's one I remember because it culminates with this maze, Batman navigating the maze, and then riding the hand to save to save the day. And while I'll get to the intricate details with you in a minute about some of the animation is definitely a lot more lackluster compared to other episodes. Isn't There's not a lot of like meat or like a lot of depth to this episode compared to some of the other ones. But what is it about an episode like this where it just hits you in your core and you don't ever forget it? And I think that's what's weird about this episode because I can, as a critic, talk to you about these 10, 15 better episodes or probably even better Riddler episodes. But this one, it stuck with me. And I loved watching it today. I watched it and I just blitzed through it. I felt like I could watch it again immediately after it was done. So, very simple stuff. They basically hit all of the marks very quickly. Edward Nygma, Nygma, that's explained to the kids at home. Fired from his job, to revenge story, 2 year time jump. Thought about the Clock King episode and some others where they do that. And then basically it's just a cat and mouse gonna go after him kind of thing. He's the Riddler. He's a bad guy. He's got some cool gadgets and things. I don't know how they fund these mazes and big things like things like the Mad Hatter episodes. Like, how they have the money? Where's the money coming from to fund all of this? But anyway, I had a great time. I loved it so much. So let's get into it a little bit, and we'll go from there. So let me bring this episode up real quick. We'll switcheroo for you so you can kind of get a deal on a few of the high points with me, and you guys will tell me what you guys think. Because I tell you what, I'm having a blast. Anyone else not skip the intro? I'm always listening to the intro because of this music and stuff. It never ceases to just be fantastic. This is just the opening sequence where Nigma's wandering back. He's doing a crossword and then he's wandering back to find that his door's gone. There's the Mockridge from 2 years ago, basically just being a complete jerk.
Here, your history. You're fired. Comprende?
So you can't fire me. And he's the brains behind the operation in this big game that's made everybody all this money and that kind of thing. And Mockridge actually has the line like, "If you're so smart, then why aren't you rich?" And then we cut forward 2 years, and it's Mockridge giving a spiel to Bruce, and then the scroll goes across the board, and then when we cut to the Wayne Manor, you have Robin, Dick Grayson playing this game. Right, he's playing this Hand of the Minotaur game, and it is kind of funny because he sort of responds initially in sort of like a very um, I don't know, kind of like a very immature way playing the game. Like impulsive. That was the word I'm looking for. Impulsive answers to these questions instead of taking a pause, taking a breath. Because that's one of the biggest things you do when you take a test or a quiz like that. You just got to learn to take a breath. It's one of the hardest things I have problems with. I want to know the answer. Basically, it's like, all right, we got to get to work. There's someone who has a riddle out there. It's about Mockridge. By the way, they just bust through this window, which is just great. I love that shot. Actually, it's one of the few shots. This episode does struggle with some just inconsistencies with the animation. What they go with, like, Riddler has a mask on, but he doesn't have eyes. Yeah, there's other scenes where you see like dots where there would be an eye, things like that. It's very inconsistent. The thugs I thought are very generic in this episode compared to some of the others. Yet Batman kind of struggles taking care of the guy a little bit. I will say I love the fact that they did the lighting here. They mix that up, and then it ultimately leads to a fire. Um, but just even with Robin, when he gets the upper hand on the one guy, he just has him on a cart and wheels him in and things like that. I want to see them fight. I want to see some ninja stuff. I want to see the stuff that we know them for, that they're known for. And this episode kind of give you pieces of that. And then of course Robin gets caught. The Riddler has to get away by putting him into like the equivalent of his little Chinese finger puzzle thing. There's another quiz because they're using lights as like a Morse code, which Batman deciphers, and they figure out where to go, and then they have a maze. And so it's this last part of the episode where they're inside the maze, inside the game. And I love the fact that they've added this element. So in the game, these come along so you can't go backwards. Once you make a decision, you have to live with that decision, which I think is interesting because I don't know if all games are like that. But so what they did is he rigged it up so that they now shoot fire. So each step of the way, there's something um, that they're able to navigate through. They see the hands. I know they'd gone the wrong way, and they have little clues and different little things. This is the there's 3 keys and an A and a C and a D. It has these big rolling saws, but it's a music thing about how many sharps there are. So D has 2 sharps, and A would have 3. That kind of thing, right? So I actually think maybe also like when I had little kids that we would enjoy discussing like the clues and the riddles like a little bit because I remember us having like a riddle book for kids and using it as a way to like stimulate their thought, stimulate deductive reasoning, problem solving, that kind of thing. So maybe that's just us having a nerdy house. I don't know. Maybe you guys didn't do that. But I remember all this. I think it was great. This is the exact same uh, uh, riddle that is in the game that we saw earlier. It's a callback to what we had with Dick on the computer. So he knows the answer is arc. So it's the one in the middle, not the straight line, because you're on a globe. And then Batman, this is where Batman gets the idea of riding the hand to his basically his palm face to face with the Minotaur, who's going to kill Mockridge. And there's one last clue, which Batman answers right away. And of course, then you had the final battle with the hand being blown at him, so it knocks him out. And the Riddler's not even there, which I think is also was great. So, Bruce, of course, just buys the company, and basically it's about getting jobs, that kind of thing. So he sort of interceded. Mockridge doesn't really, there's no real penalty for Mockridge, right, at this point. But I love the fact that this happened. This was such a great life lesson. The Riddler's still out there. So how much is a good night's rest worth? Like he just can't even sleep. And that's how it will end. I like that. I don't even know that I like this because I think there's a lot to that message or anything like that. I think it's just the Minotaur puzzle game sequence. I just really loved all of this. I know that's maybe that's just me just being like guilty pleasure mode on this one. But I will say this too. My other take home that I had with this episode was the fact that we're now on like episode 40, and it took this long for us to actually get the Riddler, right? And part of it, allegedly, because I was looking up a little bit about why, is they wanted to make sure that they would showcase how smart the Riddler is, and they want to make sure they did a really good job of writing some good riddles. They wanted things not to be, they didn't want them to be too long, they want to be too silly. They wanted to really be good. Because Frank Gorshin back in the original one was kind of fun. It was kind of nice to see some of that stuff. It was mostly, but he was more like the Joker, right? He's more like this version of the Joker, so he's silly and stuff. So they wanted something a little bit different. Let's see, what else could I think of that I wanted to mention with this? I wrote down a couple of notes. Let me see. Yeah. It's just one of those fun things about the labyrinth and the maze. I just really enjoyed all of that. I just really, really did. I think that's I don't know. You guys tell me I'm crazy. Yeah, it's okay. You guys can tell me. I don't know. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me every Saturday talking cartoons. This is another one of those that I just really enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy doing that to rewatch and stuff with me as well. Thank you again. Take care. I am Pops.
We'll be right back.
It's a bomb!
The eyes of justice are watching. It's Batman!
Riddle me this! Where would a villain like me hide a bomb?
Revving up on his high-powered bat cycle, Batman charges to the answer. A giant maze.
What flies but has no wings? Time! And it's running out!
Blasting off in his rocket gear,
Take that!
Turbojet Batman surprises Riddler. Time's up. The eyes of justice, Batman. Figure included with bat cycle. Other figures sold separately. Maze and clock not included.
Mattel introduces the Battlestar Galactica collection. You can imagine the world of Battlestar Galactica, where the Cylon Raider meets the Colonial Viper starship you assemble.
Colonial Viper pilot ready for takeoff. Cylon's approaching. Check stabilizers. Load laser torpedo. Cylon Raider missile base open. Cylon Raider launch. Colonial Viper launch.
Colonial Viper and Cylon Raider vehicles from the Battlestar Galactica collection, each sold separately, new from Mattel.
For America's favorite hero this Christmas in the animated movie Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Injustice makes him boil, evil makes him burn, and then Danny Ketch becomes the Ghost Rider. Flameglow Ghost Rider, blaze and vengeance, ride in the name of justice. With whip chains, hidden projectiles, and with flaming discs and a ghost fire gun, they destroy scum like Zarathos and Skinner. If evil makes you burn, ride with new Flameglow Ghost Rider, defender of the innocent. Cycles come with figures, other figures sold separately.
Star Wars. You can battle for the galaxy with new Episode 3 lightsabers. You can choose Obi-Wan's lightsaber with Force vibration. Train with Jedi Master Yoda.
What will you have?
And choose your destiny like Anakin Skywalker.
He chose the dark side. We're to find it too.
With the Darth Vader voice changer, the transformation is complete.
Don't know the power of the dark side.
New Star Wars lightsabers and voice changer, each sold separately. Cable batteries not included. Ask an adult before going online.
Oh, you can to Hasbro.com. Batman, Joker's turned up at the Gotham McDonald's.
On my way. Robin, meet me at the Gotham City McDonald's.
Right, Catwoman's been sighted there.
They're ours now. Just imagine Batman's surprise when he finds out everyone's talking about the Batman Happy Meal toys at McDonald's. One of 8 exciting action toys or vehicles with each Batman Happy Meal you buy your kids. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Why have they been in there so long?
They're probably just toying with us, Robin.